So, hi everyone. My name is Eric Nicholson. I'm a founder and CEO of the Astute Realty LLC. I'm also a lender with Greenwood and Archer. We do commercial lending, hard money, DSCR, bridge loans, etc. I want to introduce Charles Blair, also known as Mad Scientist, to you. And he was a great resource to me. I have learned plenty of things from him as far as the usage of the CRM and artificial intelligence is concerned. He has a hands-on experience. It's not a guru, he's not somebody who just preaches and teaches. He's actually doing what he's saying. And he has a call center, he has cold callers. So I basically will stop here and let Charles introduce himself and tell us a little bit about himself. Charles, welcome to our podcast. I'm very excited and very grateful for you for accepting our invitation and appearing on our podcast. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you come to this line of business, and what is your focus now?
Hey, thank you, Eric. I really appreciate it. I think I really would like to begin with my history, or should I say my education. Dropped out of junior high school in the 9th grade. I've been doing real estate investing now for 32 plus years. I'm a firm believer that it's not how you start the race that matters, it's how you finish. Growing up in the projects, it was not an easy situation. So my start in the business was sort of like by accident. I got late night television, listening to Carlton Sheets, decided to buy the course. After I purchased the course, I realized there was some information that was missing. So I sought after a mentor, worked with that mentor. My salary was $50 a week plus lunch. And I always say that was the highest paying job that I ever got, because after working 8 months with that mentor, I became a full-time real estate investor and been a full-time real estate investor now for over 32 plus years. At one point in time, the largest minority owner of apartment buildings in downtown Baltimore, had my hands dibbled and dabbled in every aspect of real estate investing, from wholesaling, rehabbing, buying and holding, owner structured financing. Many consider myself as a leading expert on online, offline marketing and generating leads with AI. And that's pretty much my focus right now. We're in 6 different markets. We usually average somewhere between 8 and 12 deals a month. And we've been doing it regularly for 32 plus years now. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Fantastic, man. 8 to 9 deals a month, that's a lot. I mean, that's pretty good, actually.
Well, we're in, actually, it's not, I'll be honest with you. At one point, and this was about 2009, we were at the 200 plus deals a year mark. So if I had to go over historical data, it's okay. I'm comfortable. My wife and I are comfortable. And for me, we're at a point in our lives where it's almost getting time to retire. So I'm not really revving up the engine on 100 miles an hour. We're sort of like coasting with our company. We have virtual assistants all around the world. We work with team members of now contractors that's here in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. And we have virtual assistants that do website designs for us, social media marketing. We have individuals that work with us through classified postings and so on. And we pretty much is I'd like to say a 2-person automated VA machine. And my specialty and our specialty in whole is systemization and automation, especially when it comes to working with AI and the way it has morphed into that 100-pound gorilla that everybody is talking about.
Right. And when I say when I said that the 8-9 deals a month is fantastic, I was thinking about, because we discussed this before, about you having a small team, 2 callers, and you are doing it in the current market, which is very scarce. There is no comparison to 2007.
I agree.
Before the
I
crash,
agree.
it was crazy.
Yeah, I agree. The only exception I would say is because of the fact that we're in 6 different markets and we're doing the different exit strategies. That's why I'm not saying that I consider it a lot, because that's what I mean by that.
I see. So how many deals do you close in Maryland exclusively? Just Maryland?
Typically, Maryland, between myself and the ones I work with, my students that I work with, we usually, in our company alone, usually about 4 to 6 deals. The other deals are with our partners. And the way we work in the other markets, we have wholesaling partners in those other markets. My team do all the marketing. We draft the leads over to our wholesale partners, and we split the profits 50-50. And that's how we're doing the virtual model. My expertise and our expertise is generating leads leads and marketing. So I decided to create a hybrid virtual strategy of partnering with actual wholesalers that I can trust and that we work with in other cities and other states, generate and push the leads to them and have them handle the whole process of what's working in that market and the zip codes that we're targeting. And then we split profits 50-50. And that's how we're doing it.
I see. When you say leads, you mean somebody says yes over the phone when you call them. So then you forward that contact to that local wholesaler, and then is he in charge of taking it over from that point on until he closes the deal?
Well, let me preface this by saying cold calling is only one aspect of what we're doing. We typically do anywhere between 6 to 8 different marketing strategies. We do direct mail, we do text message marketing, we do email marketing, we do Facebook postings, and so on. So we have a wide route of ways of marketing, but you just described pretty much the system that's in place. We're responsible for generating the leads, and our wholesale partners are responsible for negotiate, structuring, and taking it to the finish line.
Got it. That's beautiful. And tell me a little bit about your CRM and automation. I know we touched on this subject before, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, you are using Go High Level as the base of your machine, and then you customize it to your needs. And then I guess you have spent some time figuring out how to use all of its functions, which is a very daunting task for a lot of people. But once you can master it, I mean, it can do phenomenal things. I want you to talk a little bit about that.
Well, first, let me preface what you just said. I'm not a master of Go High Level. What I firmly believe in is being a master of managing your manager. I have a VA that does our Go High Level stuff, and that person is the master of Go High Level. In my mind, I have the concepts, I have the actual automations and the workflows that I want created, and then I push them over to that person, and they actually do the hard lifting of the tools and the labor. Back to what you were saying, Go High Level is the actual base of what we use, but we had a lot of proprietary stuff that we put into the system ourselves. For example, I created a house hunter system that I would say easily allow us to generate into 6 figures each year from working with other investors that don't know what they're doing. And you know the term bird dog. We created a whole system around having hundreds of bird dogs out there looking for deals for us, and then we pay a commission off of those fees that we close and so on. That's one of the proprietary systems that we created inside of Go High Level, as well as some other automations with the tools that we have with call tools. We use that as our main basis for cold calling. We use Print Genie as our main base for direct mail, and we've incorporated all of that through automations with Make.com, Airtable, and webhooks in order to really make things really run smooth.
Let me ask you, next question would be, I know that on your website, different type of packages that you offer. Can you summarize what they are, what their costs are if somebody wanted to just get that full package installed, and how they can reach out to you, where they can find you to place an order? And what's the process for placing an order? Do they have to first have an appointment with you, have a conversation to figure out what they need and then do it? Or can they just go on the website and click on basically a package and purchase it online?
The website is madmarketingsuccess.com. And on that website, we offer a monthly package, and we also offer a lifetime offer. Now, of course, most people would take the lifetime offer, price $497, lifetime access to your own version of our Go High Level system. And then basically, the House Hunter system is a separate cost. That's a private package. That's a whole system in itself. Comes with training videos, the whole setup and everything. We do all the heavy lifting, and then we also teach you how to implement it through the actual membership site that you get access to, and so on. So it's really only 2 packages, if you want to say truthfully. It's the actual Mad Marketing Success, which is the marketing system that has a cover of Go High Level in the background, and it's the House Hunter system. Those are the only 2 packages we offer.
Okay, and I guess the only thing that remained kind of like fuzzy to me, I want you to clarify, there is also AI table that you use, and I think you create your own programs that do what you wanted to do, right? So tell us a little bit about that and how it incorporates into Go High Level, or is it a machine on its own? Tell me a little bit about that AI table.
Sure. What you're referring to, Eric, is our actual school community that's called REI AI Automation. And we created a whole community for like-minded investors and business owners that want to use AI and automation in their business. And inside this community, we have a bunch of the automations that we use in our business. We have Zoom calls every week, and we go over these automations and how you can implement them in your business. So one of the linchpins is, for example, we have an automation in a system that allow us to take a video that we've created and have that video turn into Facebook posts, Instagram posts, TikTok posts, LinkedIn posts, and also have it go over all the social sites with actual links and stuff going back to our products or going back to our We Buy Houses websites. So it's a community where you're able to really learn the process of implementing AI in your business. 75% of the members of that community is real estate professionals, real estate agents and investors. The other 25%, I would say, is business owners, but it's a whole school community at reiaiautomation.com. And the best part about it is I made it affordable so that anybody could be a part of that community. It's only $20 a month. And with that,
I'm sorry, you said reiautomation.com. I want to just make sure that our viewers remember that.
Sure, it's reiaiautomation.com.
aiautomation.com.
Yes,
Got you.
Because we incorporate real estate investing and AI automation in that whole community. And we have about 15 different automations that we give the members of the community. And one of the best parts of all is being able to pick the brain of my team members and other people that's in the community when it comes to structuring and automating and systemizing your business using AI.
Got you. Marcia and I, as you know, we have launched a Baltimore chapter of the Cash Flow Breakfast Club, and we would love to have you as one of our guest speakers in one of our meetups. And I'm also inviting you and everyone who is watching the show to come register on Meetup. I will place the link there so people can register. We will have our first inaugural meetup on April the 10th at 5:45. I think the insights that you provide would be invaluable. It's great. There's so much that you can teach and share, especially about the automation, AI. And you have a good point there. AI is not going to replace humans. Never, ever. It doesn't have emotional intelligence. It doesn't have the decision-making capacity. But AI will be a tool to help you to enhance your performance. And I think there are so many things that AI can do that will save a lot of time. Tedious tasks that you have to go over and enter the data, send the email to each individual, and put the headers there and think about all of that can be taken care of by AI if you know how to use it and if you know how to command it, how to tell it what to do. And I also like what you are essentially doing is you are hiring the right people in the right places to implement the things, and you are basically coming up with the idea, which is the reason why we want to be entrepreneurs, because we want to be free. We want to have time to do what we enjoy. We want to come up with concepts, ideas, and ways to put things together. And then we obviously need people who can assist us in implementing those tasks one at a time. And I wanted to ask you in this regard, if somebody is new into this business and they just started in the real estate, what realistic time frame you would set for them, and what would be the steps for them to achieve that type of freedom that you and your spouse enjoy right now? What is that time frame it took you to get to the level where you can actually be hands-off and have your team do all this stuff that you tell them in terms of putting the structure and map and direction, but they do everything for you, and you are a free man now? Tell me about that.
Okay. Let me first clarify something. I'm not a free man right now. I love it. I eat, sleep, and drink real estate investing, and as well as the marketing side of it. So I'm always learning. One of my favorite sayings about real estate is that really got me to the point of feeling that love is the fact that I know that real estate investors and real estate investing, we don't get paid by the hour. We get paid by the thought. And if we can think of a $10,000 a month, a $15,000 a month, a $20,000 a month, it's all about implementing or putting that actual plan to paper and actually realizing. That's one thing I realized. And that was one of my highest motivations, is the fact that I know that if I wanted to think of a $20,000 a month, all I had to do was think about that plan that it would take to get me from the actual idea to the actual profit. That's one thing. Number two, the biggest thing that you could put into your mind and into your business is the message that I always say. You got to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. If you can do that, you can really excel in this business. Because where most people fail is fear. So if you can be comfortable being uncomfortable, I'm not gonna say it's an easy path, but it's a great start to being successful. Number 3, stay away from shiny toy syndrome. There's so many of us out there that hear, oh, there's this new strategy, there's this new art, there's this new. Stick with a plan. Come up with an idea. Think of a way that you want real estate to do what you need it to do for you. For example, if you need quick income, then you want to either do bird dogging or wholesaling. If you need a large lump sum of income, then you want to do rehabbing. But if you need passive income or money that's going to allow you to get revenue coming in each month, you want to do renting, buy and hold investing. So choose the strategy based on your need, not based on what the gurus are talking about this month and the new toys that are coming out next month. So I think that was the key thing that I realized, but I didn't get there until I found, and here's the most important thing, a mentor that was actually doing it, that allowed me to shadow him and learn from him. Like I mentioned, after 1 year in the business, I think I may have done like one deal. Actually, it was one deal. I had a partner that I was working with. We made $5,000 and we split $2,500 a piece. After 2 years, I was up to maybe 3 or 4 deals. But after 4 years, I made the biggest purchase in my real estate career. We purchased over 35 buildings, 270 units in downtown Baltimore. The company was Mount Vernon Properties. So for me to get from 1 to 30 plus buildings, it was 4 years. But through that 4 years, it was totally engulfed in my mind that I wanted to do that. Like I mentioned, with 9th grade education, I knew, and this is what my biggest motivation was, I knew that if I didn't make this work, all I had to look forward to was a security guard job, working at McDonald's, or some other type of job that really didn't enrich me. So That's what my motivation. My motivation was my 9th grade education. So find something that will motivate you to be all in. Don't just sit on the sideline. One of the things I realized is you can't treat this business like a hobby. You can't do 5 hours a week and be successful. I don't know anybody who can do that. I have yet to find anybody that have mastered the 4-hour work week. I'm not a master of the 4-hour work. So put a realistic plan in place, but the most important thing about the plan, it's only a plan unless you execute it. And that to me is the key fact, executing whatever plan you're willing to take.
Yes, I totally agree. And you mentioned fear factor. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. What are the biggest challenges? What are the most fearful things that make people hesitate and not take steps?
I'll give you an example. Talking to a seller on the telephone. Oh my goodness, that is something that a lot of new investors fear. They look at that person on the end of that phone and they make every word that that person say a personal attack on them. Well, if I didn't get the deal, it must have been me. If I didn't, no, it's not. It's a process. You have to walk before you run. It's a process. So understand that that person on the phone has something that you want if you can be or make a meeting of the mind. And if you can do that, it could be a win-win situation for both of you. But also realize that you're one phone call away from realizing the success you want. And you have to go through the growing pains in order to have the success. So that's what I realized in regards to fear, that I'm only one phone call, one call from a seller, one letter, one door knock, one postcard away from realizing the success that I want. And you're not going to believe this business works until you get that first check. Very few people have the foresight to say, I know it's going to work. When you get that first check, that's when in your mind, you're going to hit overdrive when it comes to really putting your mind and putting yourself out there to do the business. But in the meantime, surround yourself with like-minded people that are closing deals, associations and clubs like the Breakfast Club. Come to the meetings, get around the people so that you can be enriched with their success, and it'll keep you motivated until you get your success.
Totally agree. Yes. And can't emphasize enough the hands-on experience and learning from people who actually do it, so you can see what they do and how they get to the outcome that they are getting to. And you just mentioned the cold calling, and I know we discussed this earlier, but I wanted you to touch up on that a little bit for our viewers. I believe you hire a couple of cold callers, and they generate they call the prospects, they generate the leads, and then the lead is being transferred to acquisition manager. I want you to just elaborate on that, because I believe you put a very nice, efficient system there where basically a couple of people are assisting you in generating the volume of the transactions that you have per month. And also, when did you transition to the system where you have not just VAs, but you also have an acquisition manager who closes the deal on your behalf? When was that transition from you personally making phone calls to hiring this assistance?
Oh, it took a while for me to get there, because as an investor who has a lot of experience, it's hard for you to believe that someone can structure and negotiate a deal just as good as you can. Because we have that, oh wow, I've done hundreds of deals. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find somebody that's going to have the same feel and the same ability to build that rapport and structure that deal like I do. And I realized that if I wanted my business to scale, I had to be able to put the business in a position where I trust and I manage my managers. We have about 4 different businesses that are our main profit centers. And I can't spend all my time on the real estate side when I have a marketing company, I have a coaching program, I have all these other irons in the fire that we're doing, and I'm worried about what I'm saying on the phone. It doesn't compute when you're talking about multiple streams of income. So for me, it was probably about, let's see, James been with me about 2.5 years he's been with me. So it wasn't something that I discovered 15 years ago. I found it hard to relinquish that money-making matter. And what that is, the highest performing task that you're gonna have in your business is gonna be 2 things: generating the leads and closing the deals. I haven't given up the brain cells that create the marketing strategies, but I have given up the whole process of talking to sellers other than educating my people on what to say, how to say, and so on. So that's where I'm at with that aspect of it. When it comes to my cold callers, one of the things I realize is that every successful investor have a successful system. Every successful company, you can look at that company with a microscope, and the one common thread that you'll have with all these companies is that they have mastered all the tools and systems that they use. So if you were to start on a granular level, the first concept you should understand is any system or tool that you want to use, try to be the master of that tool. So when I first started cold calling years ago, I put together systems in place that I could easily graduate to someone else to do it. I had in fact, I'm trying to find it. I wrote a book called my SOP Black Book. And that SOP Black Book is my standard operating procedures for my business that I've now made it into a interactive AI book for my VAs to learn how to do and what to do. And that was one of the biggest eye-opening things that came in my direction, was you have to create a standing operating procedure for everything that you're doing in your business if you wanted to multiply and if you wanted to grow and systemize your business up scale. So we do that. We've done that. And it was just a matter of what's next. And we've grown, and I've realized that my most important fact that I have is my brand and marketing. So I always tell people, you're not an investor, you're not a wholesaler, you're not a rehabber, you're not a buy and hold investor. You are a marketer. And when you realize that and you embrace the fact that you are a marketer, your business can grow to a level that you would not believe.
Makes total sense, because in our business, especially in investment business, there is nothing you can put together unless there is a deal, unless there is a property that is a performing asset that you know what the ARV is, what the rental values are, and you know that the numbers work for you. And there is no way to get there if you don't know how to do the marketing and how to reach people that are in possession of those assets that you want to acquire for your business. If you can't, then there is no business. And the second thing is extremely important, is that if you don't have place where you store all your data, you can probably manage it at the very beginning, where you have only so many people that you have to call and follow up. Maybe you can use the spreadsheet. But once you hit the volume and those number of contacts that you have to follow up with, number of people you have to contact, number of people you have to know about on the go. If they call you, you have to just type their name and know who they are, why they are calling you, what was the last conversation about. Without that system in place, I think you will be lost. Because it's going to be a complete chaos, and you will not know what you are doing. You will not know what your KPI is. You will not know where you are wasting your efforts and where they are paying back the most. So the system and marketing, two things that you mentioned, are absolutely very, very important components of this business. If you don't master those two, it will be very tough to succeed in this business for anyone.
You bring up two good points. One of the things I tell all my people is that 70% of all leads, if not touched, meaning a response have made to that lead within 5 minutes of getting it, there's a good chance you're going to lose it. If somebody reaches out to you and you don't get back to that person in 5 minutes or less, there's a good chance that person is going to reach out to someone else, and someone else is going to be the competition that you're going to have to go after. Number two, if you're not touching your lead, or your prospect, if you're not touching your prospects at least 7, 10, 14 times, there's no chance you're going to get the lead. I can't tell you how many opportunities we've gotten from letters, direct mail, phone calls, driving for dollars, that we've reached out 3, 5, 7, 10, 15 times, and then all of a sudden the person was ready. You got to realize only 3 out of 10 people you reach out to is going to be in a position to say, yes, I want to do something right now. I want to think about this. Yes, can you help me? The other 70% is in the follow-up. So you have to have some type of follow-up system or process in place if you plan on scaling, and if you plan on generating the revenue that you want in your business. The money is in the follow-up. And there's another saying, the riches is in the niches. So if you can niche it down and become the expert of that, you can shoot your business to any level you want.
I hear that a lot, especially wholesalers who've been in the business much longer than myself. A lot of them will emphasize importance of following up. They don't take no for an answer. Like if the person is hesitant and says, I might sell it, okay, you're not going to waste your time and talk to them for an hour, but you will follow up with them every now and then. And then maybe 7, 10, 12 attempts later, you establish the rapport. They know who you are. They have a good rapport with you. And one day they just wake up, okay, I think now I'm ready to sell. Who do I know? I know Charles Blair because I spoke with them 10 times and I already know the guy. I can trust the guy. So let me reach out to Charles and ask him, or maybe Charles will call me and I'll be like, hey, Charles, I just spoke with my wife yesterday about selling the house. Now I think we are ready. And now you got that business. Now you got that deal.
I'll give you 2 nuggets. I'll give you 2 nuggets. 1, always leave an offer. Always. Regardless what the seller says they want or what the seller said they won't take, always leave an offer. I can't tell you how many times the seller have said, I won't take $1 less than $150,000. And our offer was 100. 5 months later, oh, I know you guys offered 100. Is it still on the table? Well, had we not left an offer, we would not have been a call or a sight in their mind to give them a call back. That's one thing you got to realize. Number 2, negotiations is all about control. And I'll give you 1 nugget about that. When a seller says, let me ask you this question. If you're speaking to a seller, what do you say to them when it comes to wanting to see their house, wanting to set up an appointment to see them?
Yeah. So first of all, I ask them if they're considering selling. And if the answer is yes, I'll ask them what makes them think to sell it. So because I want to know what their motivation is. Why?
But I want you to get to the question about coming to the property. What does that?
And then once we come to the question about the property, and I got the information, kitchen updates, bathroom updates, number of bedrooms, roof condition, everything. Now I have everything. Okay, now that you are ready, I know what the property is. I can run my numbers. Can I come and see the property? Because I need to come and see it in person and give you an offer within 24 hours after that. So that's when I ask. By the way, I found out that, go ahead.
I'm going to correct you. You never ask, can I come to see the property? You never ask that. You say, what would be a good time for me to come see the property today between 4 and 6? By asking, can I come see the property, you're giving the seller control. You want to always maintain control of that negotiation. So what I teach my people is, Mr. Jackson, if you don't mind, what would be a good time between 4 and 6 today to see the property? Oh, you can't see it today? What about between tomorrow, 9 and 5? That way, you won't ever have to hear that, well, I'll be free in a couple of weeks. I'll be free next week sometime. If you got a yes and you got a number based on that conversation, hey, this could be a good deal. Take control of the negotiations and propose the actual date and time that you're going to come by there, not give the seller control.
Yes, and you mentioned earlier about the necessity to follow up within 5 minutes. I wanted to also add there that Charles does not allow his acquisition specialist to follow up with the lead even within 2 minutes. He has his VA transfer the live call to acquisition manager on the spot, so there is no time, not even a second lost. Smooth transition from VA to acquisition manager, who then has to close the deal, set up an appointment, and get everything done. So that's
called a warm transfer.
Yes,
it's called a warm transfer.
Very important thing.
Exactly.
A lot of the deals are lost because of not doing this. Because people start ghosting you. They say yes one moment, 10 minutes later they change their mind. Have that call transferred immediately, and once you have that conversation, I didn't think about it, but it's a great point. Don't ask them, can I come to see your property? Tell them when between 2 and 5 today, or tomorrow between 9 to 2 I can come and see it.
Exactly.
Excellent. And Charles, I have the limit on the Zoom 40 minutes, so if it cuts me off, we will just restart this, right? So go back and just click on the link again. But all excellent points, great points, and I can't emphasize enough how much your expertise matters, because you have a real hands-on experience. You live this through your life. So the knowledge that you are sharing is a real hands-on experience-based knowledge, and that's invaluable, and that's what we will need. Meetups, people like you to come and to teach our audience, people out there. What I was talking about is the importance of hands-on experience, that the knowledge that comes from doing it, and you have that. And that's exactly, you are the exactly type of the person that we want to bring as guest speaker, so you can relay that knowledge to the general audience based on the fact that you've seen, observed, empirical evidence, not theory, because theories can be good. They're like, you can generate many ideas, but you have done it, you have seen it, you have tried it, and you know what works, what doesn't. And that is the most, I think, valuable thing that we can impart to our audience. And I truly appreciate, Charles, your time, and I can tell you have a passion for what you do, and you really put your heart into it, and everything that you describe, I can sense that you put your heart into this thing, and you really live through it. You breathe with it, you live with it, you wake up with it. Your mind is totally dedicated to your business, which is a great thing. You are. And what I earlier said, you are a free man. I don't mean the word free man in the sense of like sitting at the beach and not doing anything, just like laying under the sun. What I meant by free man is that you actually do what you love to do, which is thinking constantly about how to improve the process, and then materializing your thoughts and having right people in right places, implementing the tasks that you give them. I mean, that type of freedom, I think that's just what everybody dreams of, and you are living that dream. And you can share, by sharing your experience, telling people how you got there, you can help tremendously to a lot of the people. And the fact that you have dropped out of the school on 9th grade and got to where you are now, that tells me that there is absolutely no excuse for anyone not to succeed and not to build a lifestyle that you have built for yourself. It's very inspirational, and it's also something that people will have to reflect on and say, okay, I don't have any excuse. If this guy did it, why can't I? And then I think that's also another thing that I want to make people aware of, that that you have to be in control of your destiny. You have to understand that you are responsible for your own destiny, and that there are things that you can do to turn things around and make things work for you. And if you need the knowledge, we will bring it to you. If you need funds, we are lenders. We have Greenwood and Archer. We will, finance your deal. We will offer hard money. We will offer you the DSCR. We'll offer you the bridge loan. And then if you need tools to put a system in place, we have an expert that can tell you how it works. And you can either take all that information and do everything on your own, or you can be a member of our team, our group, and we basically give a lot of free information. And I want to build a community that will be supportive of each other, so we can basically come together, help each other, and build better, more prosperous community. And the fact that you are from Baltimore, I think is also great. Baltimore, I think, has a huge potential. Baltimore is one of the top. I think I read it in the article the other day. Our DMV area is like in the top 10 of the world economies. Okay, so if you live in this area, you are basically living in the top 10 place in the whole world on a global scale. And Baltimore happens to be within that DMV area. And there is so much potential there. There is so much you can do there. It's just phenomenal. And I think if we put our efforts and brains and minds together and let people know what can be done, I'm very optimistic that there are good things that we can do by putting our efforts together. And again, I appreciate you being with us today and sharing your great knowledge and expertise. I'll look forward to do more of this and have you as a guest speaker. And in the end, I want to allow you to say, some words to conclude our meeting and tell us a little bit in the conclusion.
Sure. And the funny part is we haven't even touched on AI and how we're using it in our business. So that's another story that we can go over if I come to one of your meetings sometime. But man, the way AI has transformed working that 80-hour week to working a 20-hour week is unbelievable, man. The things that we're doing, and I was just looking over a brand new tool that just came out 2 days ago that is just sick what's going on in the AI universe when it comes to working in your business and so on. But yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity, Eric, you give me to speak to your people. I'm a firm believer in paying it forward. One thing that I hate and I can't stand is people that have a scarcity mindset. People that feel as though if they help you, you're going to take or cause them not to be able to eat. There's nobody in this market, in the DMV, anybody that I know that can buy every deal that have to worry about me taking their deal and they're not going to be able to eat. There's more than enough food on the table for all of us. So when we work together, there's nothing we can't do. So I'm a firm believer in the same methodology that you have. Free. In fact, I've got the phrase free 99. My whole business is based off of free 99, giving people the information that I have in my head, working with them, helping them come towards the goals they want. And in turns, those individuals will come and help and work with you. And that's why I firmly believe when it comes to this business, that's the type of mindset you have to have.
Yes, and not only is this a good thing to do and makes you feel good, but in practical terms, I think, every single one of us, we can basically close off and get into our own bubble and try to figure everything alone and do alone. But by doing that, you also set yourself a certain ceiling, the limit you will never be able to overcome, because
of course,
like it or not, the fact is, you don't possess all the skills, all the qualities, and all the resources and all the time that 2 people possess. And 4 people have double of that. 8 people can have double of that. And then it's just, for me, it's a matter of finding the right people that you can team up with, because you want to make sure that the other party is also putting their soul and heart and are being as abundance minded as you are, so you can actually have collaboration that is very fruitful and brings a good results. And it's unfortunate. I see that too. I mean, there are some people that have this mentality of closing off and being scared, and sometimes it's funny, because I might ask something that I know about and I know the answer to, and the person will deliberately not answer because they are afraid to share the knowledge. But that's not what we do. That's not what Charles does. Our idea is to basically give all the information, all the knowledge, everything to our group in the Cash Flow Breakfast Club. We will teach people everything that they need to know. We will remove all the excuses. We will bring every expert in the industry that you might possibly need in order to put things together, and you will even have an opportunity to partner up with some of the and learn by watching what they do and making money while learning. So we will give all that, and then obviously there is a choice. Everyone has it. They can either come and become a part of the group and support us, and we will support them, or they can just take all that information for free, walk away and do what they want to do. If that's
Right.
what they want to do, I'm fine with it. Can't overemphasize the importance and practical fruitfulness of this abundance mentality. When you have that ability to, it's by the way, this is another fear that people have, right? It's a fear of the scarce resources, that if I share something with somebody, they'll eat my food and I'll starve to death. So that's another fear factor that you have to overcome if you want to really grow in this business and be a part of a larger community, supportive community that can deliver the results that you wouldn't ever think possible if you acted alone and like in your own little bubble and closed off the world and trying to figure and do everything by your own.
I agree.
100%. So Charles, thank you for your time. Really appreciate the time and energy, and I love it. Anytime I meet you, I hear you talk. It's always a good learning experience, and I look forward to seeing you in our meetups. I look forward to seeing you as our guest speaker. And once again, I appreciate and thank you very much for coming here today.
Thank you for the invite. Tell Marcy, I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to meet her, but I appreciate you inviting me, Eric, and I truly enjoyed the time.
Thank you. Same here. Thank you, Charles. Thank you. Thank you.